everyone. So my name is André Leonardo. I'm a serial entrepreneur, author, and speaker. And actually, first of all, I would like to say thank you to Pangea and Pablo and all his amazing crew. I'm very, very happy to be here. I'm very inspiring for all the speakers. So thank you. Second thing I would like to say is that I want to ask all of you if any of you has seen this flag before. Any of you? You? How many? One? Two? Azores. Azores. In Spanish, it's Las Azores. Okay, so I was born here. Do you know where is it? It's in the middle of the Atlantic. I'm very passionate. I'm showing this because I'm very passionate about the place where I was born. I'm from Portugal. But I used to say to my friends that I won the jackpot before I was born. I was born here. It's a paradise, okay? I'm just going to leave the flag here so you can all see it during my presentation. Because, you know, actually I was backstage and I was tweeting and on Facebook and I was saying, hey, my friends in Portugal and in the Azores, I will be live in a few minutes. And everyone was like sending messages to me, so I know everyone at home is watching me. So thank you guys. So I was born in the middle of the Atlantic. How crazy is that, right? And I would like, first of all, to invite you all to visit me. It's an awesome place. National Geographic is featuring this. Whales, yeah, a lot of whales. Sometimes I get sick of watching whales. It's too many whales. It's a paradise. This is actually a very cool image. This is the only volcano where you can visit, so you're inside a volcano. I mean, how cool is that, once again? Mountains. It's a very, very cool place. You should all look online. So, to continue, so I was born here, and I was this guy. I was blonde, short, kind of cute, I think. And back then I was using this, because I was different from all the kids, I was using this as a way to do whatever I want. So when I was 6 years old, I had my first business. And this was a time where, you know, I was just a kid, 6 years old, and I saw this bubble gum. And it's a bubble gum that had liquid on the center. And I was like, what is that? This is new. Innovation. So I asked my father, hey, can you please buy me that bubble gum? And he said, no, you have to do something. You have to work for it. You can, I don't know, wash my car. You can ask your mother if she needs anything, but I'm not going to give you just because you want. You need to work for it. So this was a Sunday, okay? And I was thinking, no, I'm not going to wash your car, Dad. I was thinking, and then next day, Monday, I went to school. This place is a very small place, okay? So my school was like 200 meters from my house. So I walked to school, 3 p.m., I came back home, and I was thinking what I'm going to do. And my mom has a beautiful garden full of flowers. And I was like, those flowers are cool, right? So I got a scissor, I went to the garden, I cut all the flowers, I separated, something like this, beautiful. And I put all the flowers inside my backpack, so imagine I crushed all the flowers. And then I went door to door to sell flowers to my neighbors. Of course, my main differentiation was not the flowers itself, it was, you know, me. I was like, hey, I'm just a kid, you know, I'm 6 years old, I want to buy some gums. Why don't you buy me these flowers? And believe it or not, they bought everything. At the end of the afternoon, I went to the local grocery shop, and I asked the man, hey, I have these coins here. I want the bubble gums. And the guy starts, you know, counting. Do you know the result? 2 packs of bubble gums. 2 packs. Wait. This is a beautiful story, but with a very bad ending. Because when I went home, my mom got home from work a little later. It was not pretty. But Like I said, I bought the bubble gums. I had so many businesses. I developed so many little things. Like uh, my grandmother and my grandfather, they live on first floor, and I live on second floor. My grandmother, she used to produce cheese, homemade cheese. You know, the ones that are white and fresh. And one day, she invites all the friends. I think it was somebody's birthday or something. Everyone was there, and my grandmother just starts serving the cheese as a starter. And people were eating. I was 8 years old. And one of them, and my grandmother's name is Floripa, one of them says, "Hey, Floripa, this cheese is really good. It's really, really good. It's very different from the one I buy in the supermarket." And I was like, "Oh, so you like the cheese? Okay. Hey, grandmother, can you please start making cheese so I can sell?" And she says, "Yes." So I turn to everyone and says, "Hey, I have a brand. I have a company now. I'm the CEO of Floripa's Cheese. Okay? So who wants cheese?" And I've made a list of clients. And of course, back then, it was all profit, because imagine my day. So I woke up, school, then in the end of the afternoon, I would just talk to my grandmother and say, "Hey, today we need to deliver 5 cheeses, okay? Where are they?" "Oh, it's here, André." "Okay, thank you." "Grandfather, let's go." And my grandfather was not working, so he's driving. I'm on the back seat, and we stop at somebody's house. I turn the door. I deliver the cheese, they pay me, and the money is not going to pay for distribution, my grandfather, and for production, my grandmother. The money goes to my pocket, right? So I love to do business with my grandparents. Well, if we have time, at the end I will tell you a little more stories. But when I was 18, I left my beautiful region and I went to Lisbon. I went to the university, to Isqueté. And in Isqueté, I realized that there's, all this desire to create things, all this, I wanted to start and build, but it was something very wild. I had no rules. Nobody was telling me how to do it. But when I went to the university, I realized that this actually has a name, and it's called entrepreneurship. I realized that this is a subject. There's tons of people like me, tons of books written about it. So I was like, this is what I like. That's it. My passion found me on that day. So I was, during school, everyone was like going to parties, and I'm going to a few. But I would prefer to stay at home and just study and read more articles about entrepreneurship, because I was really in love with it. And actually, when you're in love with something, you don't care about how much time is passing by. You just love it. So I've studied so hard, not because someone was telling me to, but because I wanted. So actually, this was in the graduation day. I got an award from the university as one of the best students of that year. And then, it was in the middle of the economic crisis. Actually, the economic crisis here, it's year 2010. Economic crisis was starting to hit Portugal, Spain, and Italy pretty hard. So, like I said on the panel, I was like, okay, I'm an entrepreneur. I've met a lot of entrepreneurs, inspiring people. They are doing things. Why is everybody complaining? Why is everybody sad? Like I said, if you're in the middle of a crisis, you can cry, or you can sell tissues for the people to cry on. So I wanted to tell people that they can sell tissues. But it was difficult because I was just a kid and nobody was listening to me. So I decided, okay, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to organize an international event in the Azores, my islands. So that's the first thing I'm going to do, an event about entrepreneurship. I'm going to invite international speakers. I had a budget, I had this, I had that. Okay, now it's time to go to the islands and look for sponsors. And I said to them, "Oh, my name is André, I'm 20 years old, I'm doing this, this, and that. I want to invite international speakers to come here to talk about entrepreneurship." But you're just a kid. You're just a kid, man. Crazy idea. That will never happen. That's impossible. And I was like, no, I'm going to do it because it's going to happen this and this and that, and it's possible. Man, it's impossible. That local chamber of commerce or that, I don't know, municipality or government, they tried to do this. They had way more budget than you. They have way more knowledge, and they didn't reach success. Why do you think that you, just a kid, are going to do it? And I was like thinking, because they're not me. So you know what I did? I proved they were wrong. 600 people attended to the event. International speakers from US, Sweden, Spain actually, and a lot from Portugal too. So 600 people in an island with 50,000 people, it's more than 1% of the population. I used to say, and I say this very proud, because I say that this is the biggest event in the world, because more than 1% of the population was there. Imagine if we were in US, 1% of the population, or in Brazil, 1% of the population. So what I say is that at my proportion, at my scale, I guess this is kind of a Guinness World Record, right? So I proved they were all wrong. Then I started thinking about, okay, what's next? How can I inspire more people? So I was at home, I was doing my master's degree, and I was like, okay, so people are unmotivated because of the crisis, but more than that, I was feeling that people were kind of tired of cliches, tired of politicians, of guys that were talking just about macroeconomy, but then the day by day, they were not seeing it. And I thought, okay, what might inspire people, it's stories of real guys. Real people that are doing real things. They are not in the couch complaining. They're not waiting for the government to solve the problems. They are doing things. Okay, so what I'm going to do, and this is a very simple idea. Blank page, pen. I'm going to travel around the world. I'm going to places like Canada and US, but I'm also going to Tanzania or Kenya. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to report stories of real people that are doing things. They started here and now they are here. And I want to report this path. And then bring all of these stories from all over the world to Portugal and inspire people with these amazing stories. Cool idea, right? But then I was like, okay, but I'm used to travel from Azores to Lisbon, Lisbon to Azores. I've never traveled for more than 2 weeks or something like that. The plan is to travel 1 year alone, go to 23 countries. This was my starting point, okay? Nothing. I had no knowledge, I had no money, I had nothing. Nothing. What I did, first step, of course, I went to talk to my parents. I told them, hey, you know what? I'm going to travel around the world. And they were like crazy, you know, because I was supposed to get a job and then follow my normal life. But so the beginning was not very easy. Then for 2 years, and that's the time that I prepared all the tour. So actually, 2 years to prepare the tour and 1 year traveling. So sometimes people only see the traveling part, but this is like the iceberg, you know. So for 2 years, and I had to fund this, first thing I did, I sold everything I own, okay? I didn't own much, but my little things sold on, you know, websites, secondhand. Second thing, I presented, I had a very nice PowerPoint. It took me hours to do that. And then I just went to companies and say, hey, my name is André. I have the goal to inspire people through real stories, through entrepreneurs. Would you like to sponsor me? During 2 years, I presented my project to 97 companies. 97. After that, and the result, 7 of them said yes. 7. I had 19 no's and 7 yeses. If I, for instance, had stopped at number 50, I would not be here telling this story. Okay? So it's not easy, but you have to keep going. Third thing I did, crowdfunding. 2 years have passed. I didn't have the money that was on my Excel. And everyone was saying, hey, André, you should not go because you don't have enough money. Just try a little while, talk to a little more companies. You will see that the money will come up. And I said, no, I'm going now. You're crazy, man. You're traveling for 1 year is hard. It will have a lot of things will happen to you. You need extra money. Not like you're in Portugal and you don't have all the money, so you're going to travel, things will happen, you will actually need extra money. But I decided to go anyway. And this is me, the moment I decide to leave my house. Of course, I adapt all the tour, okay? So instead of direct flights, forget it. Very long flights with a lot of stops, much cheaper. Instead of, let's say, sleep in hotels, nope. Train stations, airports, couch surfing, Facebook groups, looking for someone that could host me for a few years so I could save money. Instead of like a 600 euros sleeping bag, I was using a 99 sleeping bag that I bought in the Azores Islands. What I want to say to you here at this stage of my talk is that I decided to not to wait for the perfect moment, because I realized that the perfect moment does not exist. If back then I would decide to wait until I had all the money for everything, I would not be here telling this story. So the perfect moment does not exist. There's a time that you, as an entrepreneur or someone that wants to do things, you have to just go for it. I go with what I have. And let's travel around the world. So please follow me. So I started in Portugal, Portuguese mainland, Lisbon, then Azores, then back to Portugal. Czech Republic, Israel, Palestine, then Africa, Kenya, Tanzania, and Mozambique, India, Nepal, Hong Kong, Macau. You're following? Malaysia, Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore, Australia, Japan, Mexico, Brazil, Uruguay, Argentina, Chile, Silicon Valley in US, Seattle in US, Toronto in Canada, Boston, Rhode Island, and New York, US again, and then back to England, and then back to Portugal. 1 year traveling alone, only using a backpack and a camera. Now I will show you some images, and then in the end tell you at least 4 stories that I really want to share with you. So here I'm just going to show a few pictures. Here I'm in Kenya with the local community, a tribe, a Maasai community. Here in Singapore, Brazil, Taj Mahal with the small cats in Thailand, Australia, Uruguay, Tanzania. So as you can see, for a guy that is from the middle of the Atlantic, I had the chance to see the world, right? And you learn so much, you see so many perspectives, you kind of open your horizons, and that's something that I would recommend to all of you. Even if you just want to travel, just because you want to travel, just do it. Then it was the opportunity to meet very inspiring people. This is Comendador Rui Nabeiro. He's Portuguese. He started a small coffee company years ago called Delta. Actually, you have Delta here in Spain, because I've seen it here in Madrid. Now it's a huge company, employs a lot of people, makes several millions a year, and it's a very, very inspiring person. Here on Facebook, this is Bel Pes. She's a Brazilian entrepreneur, very, very inspiring. Here in Mozambique. Here in Nepal, I got to Nepal and I asked the guy, hey, I don't have interviews tomorrow. What can we do today at night? And he said, my friend, today, Happy New Year, 2071. I was like, what? So they were, according to their calendar, they were entering in 2071. How crazy is that? Here in India, in those the bus, you're inside, it's full of people, completely packed. It's an experience. Here, talking with my dad on Skype, and my mother, my grandparents, because, I had to travel around the world alone. First consequence, you don't see your family for 1 year. So during 1 year, I spoke to my parents on Skype 3 times. 3 times, that's it. As you can see on this picture, my mom was like almost crying, and we were only Skyping for 1 minute, but so it was not easy. I was eating tuna, actually, because tuna, it's the cheapest thing that you find all over the world. So I became better than Flim. I dare you to cook against me, because I turned the best chef in the world cooking tuna. And I used 4 recipes, let's say. So it was pasta with tuna, rice with tuna, then some days tuna sandwich, and then last option, it was just tuna with tuna, right? So I want to say that you got to do what you got to do to pursue your goals. And this might seem like, it's fun. I mean, the guy was eating tuna, how crazy it is. But even in your dreams, whatever it is, you will need to make sacrifices. And this, believe me, after getting back to Portugal, I did not eat tuna for almost a year, okay? About the media, it was amazing. Here, just to give you a few examples, I was in Kenya talking on Skype with the Portuguese national TV. Here I'm in Tanzania, in Sibuka TV, which, as you can see, is full of technology, and it's incredible. Several newspapers, both in Portugal and international. Just a few logos over there: Boston Globe, Under 30 CEO, Sibuka TV, Radio Chin in Toronto, several. And in total, 12 months, 23 countries, more than 126,000 kilometers. And I interviewed 143 change makers. And now I have 4 stories for you, 4 stories. Story number 1. This guy is Ricardo Teixeira. He's Portuguese. I met him in Lisbon. And Ricardo was a completely normal person, so no problems at all physically and mentally. He liked extreme sports. When he was 15 or 16, he was just playing at the beach with his friends. Not much, just normal things. And then he was diving. Something terrible happened, and he became a tetraplegic. Tetraplegic. I can tell you that Ricardo now, he's 39 years old. He's the CEO. He started 6 companies, 1 in London, 4 in Lisbon, and another one in a small city outside Lisbon. So 6. He employs more than 60 people. The companies are wealthy. And he's married, and actually he drives. And when I ask him, like, how are you doing this? This is amazing. He gave me the answer while I was taking this picture. So imagine that Ricardo is here. And my phone, I was taking a picture, and my phone was like this. And actually like this, horizontal. And Ricardo said, no, put it like this. And I was like, okay. I took the picture and asked him why. And he said, I want everyone to see this chair. I want everyone to see me from head to my feet, because this is not an excuse. Do you know why you and your generation don't do it? Do you know why? Because you're not willing to go one step further. You don't want to take sacrifices. You want easy things. And there's nothing really valuable that you conquer in life. Nothing really valuable comes easy. So you need to really go for it. You need to sacrifice and go and go and go. And nobody gave me anything, okay? My parents are not rich. I have this disability, but I'm doing it. So if I'm doing it, you can do it too. So for me, the chance to meet Ricardo is one of the most inspiring people I've met all over the world. I used to say that I met a Superman, a guy that is making it happen in business, of course, but more than that, he's an entrepreneur in life. He faces obstacles every day. Story number 2. This is a very different story. So I was in India, in Delhi, full of people, okay, traffic, completely different from countries like Spain or Portugal. So I was there with my backpack, and I was, going on one of the markets, and this guy, from nowhere, he touches like this, my neck, and I look back, and he says to me, "Can I clean your ears. I was like, what? And he said, where are you from? And I said, Portugal. And the guy said, okay, I am the Cristiano Ronaldo of cleaning ears. I'm the #1. Can I clean your ears? No, you can't, but let's talk. And we start talking. And this is, look to his ear. You can see there's a swab here, and then here a towel. It's a technique that he uses. He charges 20 cents, 10 per each ear. And I asked him, this is crazy. #1, this is crazy, okay? Imagine someone tomorrow here at the event cleaning ears. For me, this was a shock, I guess for you too. And then I asked him, why? Why are you cleaning ears? And the answer was also crazy for me. He told me, you know what, Andre? I didn't have the chance to study. Here, nobody is helping me. He's the Indian Cristiano Ronaldo. Nobody is helping me. The government does not give me an unemployment fee. I cannot access to incubators, to accelerators, nothing. I have a wife at home, I have 2 kids, I need to make a living. I need to bring money home. So yeah, I'm here cleaning ears. It is what it is. But I cannot give up. And then I start thinking, man, I was born in such a beautiful place, beautiful country. I had the chance to study. I actually have everything. What am I complaining about? Why do I don't do more stuff? Why do sometimes I don't know. And like I said during the panel, here, guys like this, they don't have business plans. This is about life. Actually, he said to me, you know what, Andre, here there's only one rule. For me, I only have one rule. I got to do it. Because if I don't do it, I don't eat. So I got to do it. It's a survival entrepreneur. That's what I'm calling him. Story #3. This is actually one of the best stories, I think. I was in Kenya, in Nairobi, and I was going to visit Kibera. Kibera is one of the biggest slums in the world. It's just outside Nairobi. And I was going there, and I was a little lost. I saw this guy, Kennedy, and I asked him, hey, where is Kibera? And he said, oh, we are like 1 kilometer from Kibera. I'm going there. I live there. So if you want, you can just walk with me, and I even show you Kibera if you want. And I was like, oh, perfect. Let's do it. So we were talking, and I was very curious. So I asked him, hey, how is Kibera? How is life in Kibera? And the guy was super happy because I'm from the same country as Cristiano Ronaldo, okay? The guy was super happy. And he was like, oh, Kibera is a nice place. We are free, we are free. And that's amazing. That's amazing. And, it's a slum, so the houses look like this, all packed. But, the good thing is, always smiling. The good thing is that I see my mom and dad every day. I see my friends every day. We are always close. And that's amazing. I really like that. And then the guy showed me his house. It was like very small house. And he was saying, dirt, mud walls, metal sheets. And the guy was like, oh, this is my room, old mattress on the floor. This is my living room, and it was just an old couch. And I was like, oh, okay. He was super happy. And I was like, how about the bathroom? And he said, oh, here I don't have bathroom. Actually, here in Kibera, we don't have bathrooms. We use plastic bags, and then we throw everything away. So what you see in Kibera is this. So probably like you, I was getting very shocked. And at this time, the guy made me the same question. He asked me, how is Portugal? How is life in Portugal? And I said something like, oh, life in Portugal is great, the sun is great, the weather is great, and besides of the crisis, things, are starting to, and his face changes from very happy to very sad, and the guy asks me, oh, crisis, okay, but how many times do you eat per week? Because last time there was a crisis here in Kibera, me and my family, we were eating only once a week. How are you, man? Do you need something? This is not easy. And something like this, even today, I'm thinking about it, and this really puts your life into perspective. And me personally, I was never in a crisis, never, at all. Maybe I don't have the money to go on vacations every year. I can just, I don't know, get a bus and come here to Madrid. It's bad. It's awesome. Maybe I cannot, go and have dinner outside in restaurants every day. But, I can eat with my family at home. That's awesome. What am I complaining about? I also learned that, I don't let anything to say or to do. Actually, I don't have kind of a bucket list, because you have a bucket list because you save things to do it later. I do it now. If I have a cool idea, I do it now. I don't wait. So one message that I want to give back to you is put your life into perspective whenever you have a problem. I guess your problems are not that big. They're like mine. Story number 4. I told you that during 2 years I was preparing my world tour, and I sold everything, and the sponsors and crowdfunding, and I started with a 99 sleeping bag. I ate tuna every day, all of that. So when I was going to Mozambique, I was supposed to stay there 10 days. And I stayed there for 10 days. And someone saw that I was going to Mozambique, and the person said, "Oh, you can stay at my house, that way you save money." And I was like, "Oh, perfect." First 9 days, perfect. Last day was a Sunday. I had no interviews. The person was not working, so she said, "Oh, let's just take a walk." We went for a walk, went to check the town and so on, and then we came home at 8 p.m. Somebody, just broke the door and stole everything inside the house, including almost all of my things. The things that I worked for 2 years, gone. Just a few T-shirts, I think a notebook, not much. It was 8 p.m., my flight was on the next day at 6 a.m., and I had no backpack because my backpack was stolen. So the person gave me an old bag, and I put my T-shirts and so on. Next day, 6 a.m., I was super nervous. I was just checking, and then airport, then airplane, and then I've traveled from Mozambique to South Africa to Mumbai, and then Mumbai to Delhi, because I was saving money on airplane tickets. So 30 hours, and I was so tired, and I was nervous how I'm going to solve this. This is so not fair. I worked so much for this. When I got to Delhi, out of the airplane, I sat on one of the airport chairs, and I was there like, "Hey man, I'm going to solve this. Let's just wait for my bag, and then let's go." And then I was there, and that thing starts working, and then the bags start to arrive, and then like 30 minutes later, that little thing stops. There were no more bags. I looked right, I looked to the left, no more people. My bag never showed up. I was alone in Delhi, only with the clothes that I was wearing. And it happened something to me that only happened once, and this was the moment. I lost hope. For 3 or 4 minutes, I lost hope. And that's actually the worst thing that a dreamer or an entrepreneur can face, is losing hope. I lost hope. And during 3 minutes or 4 minutes, I was crying like a baby, and I was like, "This is so unfair. I worked so much. Probably I will go home because, oh man, this is so unbelievable." And then 3 minutes later, let's just calm down. I'm the only one here. I'm on the other side of the world. My family's in Portugal, actually in Azores. So I'm alone. I'm the one that will need to solve this problem, okay? I went to the airline company, complain, no, nothing. Then Indian family, this one, they're like my second family now. They embrace me as one of their own. I spend like 2 or 3 weeks with them. I spend with them the Holi. Holi is like one big festival over there, very big holiday. It's a time for you to spend with your family. And actually, somehow, mentally, I was recovering from everything that was happening. They offered me this kurta pajama, I think that's the name, because I had no more clothes to wear, so they gave me this, and I used this on the first stage I was in India. Then I had the money issue, right? So I was in India, crowdfunding campaign on Facebook. So crowdfunding campaign, who donates money? My brother will send a T-shirt as a way of appreciation. People take a picture and then they post it online. After 2 weeks, I was able to continue my world tour. Not with the things that I've started, but it was enough. I ate much more tuna, but it is what it is. And I saw on a wall saying a quote. I saw this in Delhi a few days later that actually sums this up. Whatever the problem, be part of the solution. Actually, sometimes people ask me, like, what's the main characteristic of all the entrepreneurs that you have met? This. When you face a problem, you give up, or you just find a different way to keep going. You need to find solutions. Actually, today and yesterday, people have talked about this a lot. Wherever the problem, be part of the solution. I also learned with this tour that difficult is different from impossible. It really is. A tetraplegic guy, 6 companies, that's impossible. No, it's actually just very difficult, but it's not impossible. What, a guy from Azores traveling around the world meeting entrepreneurs? That's impossible. My friends were mocking me up about that. It's not impossible, it's just very difficult. And you all have a dream. I don't know if your dream is travel around the world, start a company, go to university, or get a good job. But you have a dream. And I'm pretty sure your dream is not impossible. It's just very difficult. But if you want, if you work hard, you will make it happen. That's my life motto, actually. I've published a book called Faz Acontecer, which in Spanish it will be something like Haz que ocurra. In English, it's Make It Happen. Now it was the time that I was going to tell the story about the Portuguese teacher that, it's kind of a hit in Portugal. In a few months, we sold more than 3,000 copies. It's very good for a small country like Portugal. Now I'm giving interviews in radios, TV shows to foster these messages that I have, this inspiration. I'm giving speeches in universities, schools, events, companies. Actually, I would like to say to you that this is my last event of the season. So in 2 minutes, I will be on my vacation period. So many events that I even lost my voice once. I had to buy pills to keep going. Like I said today, my next steps will be a TV show, traveling and meeting entrepreneurs, and then goes to TV. It's a way to foster this message way longer. So it's going to be awesome. I invited you all. If I didn't answer some question that you have, just send me an email. That's my personal website. Thank you very much. How did you decide that these people are the people that you are looking for? How did you connect with them? Okay, so during 2 years, one side I was taking care of the money. I was trying to fund the project. On the other side, I was at home Googling, contacting NGOs, entrepreneurship NGOs, incubators, accelerators. Hey, I'm looking for a guy that is inspiring. It's not the company, it's not about the innovation, it's about the person. It's about the person. Is he an inspiring guy? Does he match these criteria? Yes? Okay, give me his contact. I had an Excel, a beautiful Excel full of contacts and so on. For instance, I had save it on Dropbox, on Google Drive, everywhere, because if I lose it, I was going to be dead. One more question. Where are the questions? That was it? Okay, perfect. Thank you once again.